Hey everyone, welcome to another video. Today we're going to talk about issue number 5 of Magik, written by Ashley Allen and art by German Peralta. But before we dive into the story, I want to ask you a favor. If you enjoy this video, please leave a like and a comment to help the channel grow. Now up to this point, Magik has teamed with Dani Moonstar and Cal to protect 5 seals trapping the eldritch being called Liminal. But Liminal offers Magik a wager. If she could resist Darkchild, the demonic part of her soul, return to full power for 3 weeks, Liminal would purge it from her. But if not, Darkchild would rule by Liminal's side. Up to this point, Magik has managed to hold back Darkchild, but will her defenses last long enough to ward the final seal? And can she do it without the trust of her friends? So with that said, this issue opens off the coast of Ireland with a narration saying, "This picturesque landscape is deceiving. I know that the presence of these mutant farmers is no coincidence. Because in the ruins up ahead is the seal that is needed to free him." So as Dani was moments away from checking the ruins, one of the mages responsible for Liminal's creation appeared and attacked the mutants that was minding their own business. Because just like last issue, this mage is now forced to serve as Liminal's demonic general. So with Magik and her friends being too late, it only begs to reason that the gravity demon must be close behind. So with the race against the clock on, Magik created a portal and told Dani that she would regroup with her at the ruin, as Cal took the remaining mutants to safety. Following that, Magik arrived on the battlefield and continued her assault on the demons before her, and as she fought, Magik went on to narrate saying, "I don't mean to hold Dani's or Cal's words against them. Darkchild is a threat. I know that intimately, yet their distrust hurts. It solidifies my greatest fears. Darkchild must be destroyed if I'm to have any chance at normalcy." So with this narration out there, Magik just proceeded to fight on, and as she fought, she told the gravity demon, "You picked the wrong day to mess with me. I'm already in a bad mood." But surprisingly, you're not the one who caused it. Now with their attacks clashing, Magik's narration continued to say, "I understand Dani's backup plan. What hurts is that she didn't trust me with it, when I trust her." So with tension in the air between the two friends, Dani couldn't help but to ask Magik if she wanted to say something to her because it was obvious that she was angry. To which a petty Magik answered with, "You think?" and then followed it up with, "We don't have time for this." Then, after a combo attack, the two demonic creatures were pushed back into a stone wall that so happened to be next to the mutant that was meant to be sacrificed. So with things getting tight for the demons, they quickly put the mutant on the slab and were about to break the last seal as Liminal's voice echoed out saying, My, does one mutant warrant your theatrics? That is not enough blood to break my seal. How disappointing. You two, out of all my horde, should know that rituals require sacrifice. And alas, I'm personally not willing to make it, but you? I don't remember much of my past, but I know you two were the mages who took me from my home. You used me in an amplification ritual to gain power, but your spell was risky and it should have backfired onto you, but you were lucky because it backfired onto me instead. So it's fitting that I must risk the same spell to pry my freedom from the speck of mutant blood you've secured. So if I succeed, your deaths will usher in my freedom at the very place I was born. How poetic. So following Liminal's twisted attack, the blood and remains of the mutant and 2 demons activated the seals across the globe as it started to collapse. And as it started to open, Liminal then went on to say, "My horde hungers for my freedom. Today will be my revelation." So as the dark energy swirled about, Magik started to succumb to Darkchild as her narration went on to say, "When a magical spell breaks, pain is reflected onto the caster. For wards as complicated as these, Liminal shattering 3 seals is agonizing. Darkchild seizes on my weakness and pain and fights to come out." With Dani by Magik's side, Liminal's voice echoed out and said, "At last, it was easy to forget that my prison was a hollow copy of this world, no more. It does me good to return to my birthplace. Speaking of, I believe your 3 weeks are up, Ileana." With that said, we then get Dani trying her best to snap Magik back to her senses. And as she shook her, Dani said, "I know it hurts, but we need to move." But that was easier said than done, so with that battle playing out, Magik went on to narrate saying, "Hold on, I've been holding on my entire life. This forced transformation is painful, and I just want to rest. For once, I just want to rest." Following that, the horde of demons rained out and charged our heroes. And with Darkchild almost freed, she rushed into battle and went straight to work cutting them down. With bloodlust in her eyes, Magik wasn't done fighting back just yet, for she continued her internal war in an attempt to regain control. So with Darkchild brought down low, Dani once again ran to her side as Liminal went on to point out how Magik is still resisting. Now the last thing Liminal wants is for Magik to resist or get any outside interference. So, with Dani pushed out of the seal, she immediately took out her arrows and started blasting away, as Cal ran to see what was going on, as well as to tell Dani that Magik overheard them talking the issue before. Now this prompted Dani to say, "Of course she did. I knew something was wrong. I don't know if you can hear me, but we need to talk, even if we'd both rather avoid the subject. Darkchild terrifies me. After all these years, she still haunts me, like she scares you. Yet somehow, you persevere through that terror. I asked Cal to watch you because Liminal made you doubt that you could persevere. But you've never let others control you. Don't let Liminal define who you are, not your past, not your present, and not your future." With that advice given, we then transitioned inside Magik's mind, with Darkchild standing right across from her. And as she stood there, Darkchild states, "Finally we meet face to face in our mind. What will we do?" But just as the statement was out, Magik was rushing across the gap and tackled the demon within onto the floor and shouted, "You destroyed my life, my second chance. And I'm going to rip that look off your face. Why are you so calm? I have imprisoned you for years, shackled you to the deepest depths of myself." So with that leveled against Darkchild then went on to answer by saying, "Why would I direct our anger against ourselves?" Now this pissed Magik off, because she went on to say, "I am not you, I did not ask for you. You leech off me and corrupt everything good in my life." But see, something strange happened, because with no hate in Darkchild's eyes, she went on to say, "Is that really how you see me? After all these years? Yes, it's true, I was born in limbo, and you were not. For what purpose was I created? To be a tool for others? No, I am a tool to protect you. Yet you choose to suppress rather than confront. You do not allow me to shoulder those darker memories. After all these years, your mental barriers are fully down, and I have one message for you. And that is I am you." Following that heartfelt moment, Magik closed her eyes and then narrated saying, "In limbo, like most demonic realms, deals are currency. Words hold power. Subversion and interpretation is a language upon itself. Liminal thought he knew my true form, based our contract on his surety. Yet the perception of self is an internal truth, one for me to decide. I've been running from my past, from the evils I endured in limbo. Although I still wish to avoid it, Darkchild's words do ring clear. She protected me before, even if the reactions were overblown. However, I always do have a tendency to suppress, and pressure builds. So with that out there, Magik told Darkchild, perhaps we can carve a new future together. I, Ileana Rasputina, will define my own relationship with my past. My past will not control me, just as Liminal will not command me. So with Ileana and Darkchild coming to an agreement, we then hop back to the material world with Liminal saying, Huntress, your words will not reach her. You have made sure that I am the only one who understands Ileana. And poor little mage, come to avenge his bloodline. Yet he seems to lack any magical power of his own. And even when Cal attempted to do a spell, Liminal just knocked it away with little effort and said, flimsy craftsmanship still, how is it that your bloodline is able to imprison me for centuries? And as the attack started to close in, Dani quickly used her body as a shield, but before it could hit him, Magik jumped in the way and took the impact for them. And on the next page, we see Magik's newest form, where she and Darkchild are now one. So with this newfound power, Magik told Cal, another lesson to you, prophecies are up to interpretation. So with Magik ready to do her thing, Liminal in admiration said, she broke out of the cocoon, the transformation must be complete. We are one and the same. Together, we will transform this world. Finally, you accepted your true self. But see, Liminal couldn't be far from the truth, because Magik turned around and rushed him and said, Limbo was my home, and I bonded to it. You think I wouldn't do the same to Earth? I don't tolerate claims to my domain. I am in full control of myself. In fact, I'm grateful to you in a way. You forced us to talk. What a feat. Now see, this fight was far from over, for Liminal shot back with, you think you're in control. Ha, what a joke. My domain is spreading, and Earth is bending to my will. My seals have not just fallen, they have shattered. But Magik's a boss, because with no hesitation, she jumped in the air and took him by his ankle and slammed him into the ground and told him, you seem to think you're the one leading this conversation. With the sword held high, Liminal continued to say, I dare you to kill me. My domain is too intertwined with Earth's magic. If I perish, your world will unravel. Except that you've lost and fall in line. But Magik isn't one to go down easily, because after some quick thinking, Magik bound Liminal with a spell. Then turned to Dani and said, this won't hold him for long, we need a solution and fast. And with the idea of sending him to Limbo out there, Magik replied with, he forged a connection with me. I don't want to test if that extends to Limbo and its demons. But that was when Cal jumped in and stated, "I know a way." Like Liminal said, the original seal was made with my family's blood. Now this was not what Magik wanted to hear, because she shouted out, "Absolutely not. You are not a tool to forge the seal. I will absorb Liminal into myself. I've held Darkchild at bay for all these years." And as Cal went to protest, Magik just cut him off again and continued to say, "You are a child. You do not have the capacity to make this decision. I will become the seal." And with lightning speed reflexes, Magik snatched the book out of Cal's hand and started the spell, saying, "Ever since I was a kid, I tried to make up for the evils that occurred around me in Limbo. Evils that I now realize I subconsciously blamed on myself. No longer. Know that you deserve a childhood, Cal." And right when Magik activated the spell, Cal came out of nowhere and knocked her out of the way and said, "I can't let you do this, especially if it risks you being corrupted again." And just like that, Magik was powerless to watch, Liminal being bound to Cal. And when the spell was complete, Magik caught Cal before he could hit the ground and pointed out that he wanted to sacrifice himself to save everyone. But that was when Dani corrected her and said he wanted to protect you. With that out there in the open, Magik asked if that was an accusation. To which Dani replied by saying, "It's a reality, one that you ignored because you were focused on your own battle." Now Magik answered by saying, "For good reason," but Dani just continued to say, "Maybe, still Cal needed a mentor, not someone to blindly follow after." And then Dani said, "I'm going to take Cal back to the Society HQ." And when Magik said she was coming with, Dani stopped her in her tracks and said, "No, you had your chance, I followed your lead, and this is where we ended up. It's my turn now." And when Magik said it wasn't fair, Dani just shot back by saying, "I've been fair, I've been supportive, but leadership means putting the needs of your team above your own. You can't keep acting alone and running in blind. If you do, you're going to keep hurting the ones you love." So with that said, we then transition back to the factory in Alaska with Cyclops walking into the kitchen in the middle of the night with Magik sitting alone. And as he walked by, he noticed that Magik was upset, so he attempted to calm her by saying, "You should have woken me up. You've helped me through my nightmares, and you promised to let me do the same. I think I know what might cheer you up. I know that you've been through a lot. I still remember when you first came back to Earth. How many teams have we been on together? 3? 4? I lose count because I truly can't imagine a team without you. You've always had my back, pushed me to be a better leader and grow into the person I am today. For someone who supposedly likes to be alone, you've touched so many lives. Despite everything that has happened, you still choose to get back up every day. To choose kindness time and time again. Things might seem bleak now, but you're not alone. You'll get through this, you always do." And with that motivational speech out of the way, Magik just replied by saying, "This time's different. I really messed up. And I don't know what to do." And with that said, this issue of Magik comes to an end. Now down in the comment section below, let me know your thoughts about this issue and what predictions you could have moving forward. So with that established, I hope you enjoyed this video, and please don't forget to leave a like and a comment if you want to see more videos like this. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.